I have a long flight coming up in exactly 24 hours. Foul Territory is taking over Seattle, Washington on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. We will live stream our own version of the MLB Draft, an MLB Draft Takeover, which will include conversations with big-time guests, some of which I can't even tell you right now, around the game of baseball.
Years ago, the Seattle Mariners opened the 1987 draft with the selection of Ken Griffey Jr.
With the first pick of the 2023 MLB Draft, the Pittsburgh Pirates pick Paul Skeens.
Anything else surprise you?
I thought Langford would go higher. I was surprised the Pirates actually made the right pick.
You were surprised?
I was
like,
surprised.
Is there the Pirates?
Because I felt like they would go with, and I don't think you could go wrong with the top three guys, with Langford and Skeens and Cruz. I just felt like they were going to take the guy that was going to take the least amount of money.
Thoughts so far?
I mean, the thing that obviously jumps out is the 1 and 2 for LSU with Skeens and then Cruz.
Hey, bro.
Hey, Paul. Just calling to congratulate you, welcome you. As I said in the text, we're ecstatic to start this journey with you.
I like that we've had, for the first time in history, the first and second pick coming from the same school. That's just crazy to think about. It makes me feel a lot better about LSU winning the national championship because, you know, everybody assumed they should, but seeing those two guys go first and second overall is really, really cool.
Yeah. Could he just jump? Could he just jump to Pittsburgh? Would they do that?
They won't do it. They won't do it.
They won't? Could he?
There's no way they'll do that for control reasons, right?
Yeah.
They're going to want to push off the free agency. But if he does what we all think he's going to do, right, they're going to bring him to the big leagues pretty quickly.
I'm talking a lot about how quickly a player can impact his major league ball club. The Reds are like the talk of the sport right now for what they're doing this year. Do you think that you could see Rhett in the major leagues with a team that could use starters by next year?
Oh, no doubt. I think he'll be in the big leagues next year. Again, what happens this year certainly remains to be seen, but who knows? He might help them down the stretch this year if they're in the playoff hunt come September, and I expect them to be.
You take the expectations that are at LSU, and then Dylan Cruz, who had been famous since he was like a freshman in high school. Obviously for him to go out and win Golden Spikes, he flirted with 500, deep into April, hitting 500.
First off, any surprises you've seen, and what did you think was going to happen in the first 5 picks?
I think the first 5 went off just like everybody predicted, maybe just in a different order than different people predicted. Teal for me was the top. He was the 6th guy I would have taken behind the big 5. Teal was my next pick. I mean, there's nothing he can't do. He can hit for power. He has a sitting near 70 arm.
Did you guys ever play winter ball?
No. We weren't grinders.
But you were a catcher. You could have learned a lot down there.
Some of us were tired from the season.
Yeah. You know what else Babe Ruth did? Partied like a rock star. Chugged hot dogs and beers during before games, smoked heaters, and was like, oh yeah, I'm going deep. I'm calling my shot off the clock at Wrigley.
A pretty distinct top 5.
Yeah.
So how did you think that played out?
I was glad to see the top 5 go in the top 5. I mean, we all do the mock drafts leading up. Those got blown up immediately, like they typically do. But there were some questions about, would the Twins pivot to a college player? Did they want a pitcher without being able to get Skeens, obviously? But no, all the top 5 guys went top 5. I think that was the smart decision. The whole spring we heard that Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens, Wyatt Langford, Max Clark, and Walker Jenkins were the elite talents in a very strong class. And I think it reminds me of 2019 when we had a group of top 6 players with Adley Rutschman and Bobby Witt Jr. leading that class. All those 6 guys went top 6. And to see it fall that way just makes me feel confident that the teams knew they had good players up top. They didn't want to get too cute with it. They'll figure out the other picks later.
Sean Casey takes over for Dylan Lawson as the hitting coach of the New York Yankees. Give us everything.
It's not a joke, and that's the first thing. Also, he goes back with Aaron Boone.
That's tough, especially since he hasn't even been there. Like, think about it, if you're in Cleveland, you guys are scuffling, you know you're scuffling, you're trying to make it back to the playoffs, and they just bring in
random
somebody. Essentially, yes, people know who Sean Casey is, but kind of rando.
What's interesting about the move to me is that they're going from Dylan Lawson, a heavy analytics guy with no major league background, to a guy who I'm sure understands the analytics and can deal with it, but is all about talking hitting and connecting with people.
Not good. And since I don't know what the updated record is, like 22-7 or something crazy since he came up. That's impact. That's like, in his time period, MVP level impact. The other thing I would have liked to see, and now it gets me thinking of how to entice young players to be in the home run derby. He said no. I wonder if the league says, because he's a league minimum guy right now, right? If you're a league minimum player, we'll give you $200,000 or something like that to be in the derby. There's the rich dudes already, but he hasn't gotten his money yet, and he didn't sign for a big bonus either. I wonder if that would have helped to make a push for someone like him. You know what I'm saying? Because he said no to the derby.
Get him here?
That would have been cool. You have to make it fair, though. You can't just say, I'm just going to pay Ellie De La Cruz. Right. But I'm like, can we just make... I know the league doesn't like to give out money, but you know what I'm saying? Like, can we make that a thing?
You ever heard of Foul Territory?
I'm on it.
Really?
Yeah.
So
I'm a host, bro.
Oh, really?
Come on.
Derby or All-Star?
Derby's exciting. There's definitely electricity around a Derby, but the All-Star game, you just get to see everyone at their best.
Yeah.
Dude, when I was a player at the All-Star games, I'd be like, this is so boring. The Derby, I'm like, this is so damn...
Anyone have a violin? Did you bring yours?
No, it's not a violin. It's just a trumpet. Just no, I'm serious. We went like 3 minutes into the show when I was at the All-Star game.
I'm just saying.
Which one of your Mets teammates is most likely to hold up the team charter? Find New York Neil.
I'm gonna say Max Scherzer.
Do you think you could arm wrestle Scott Braun and win?
Yeah, he's all show. The muscle is all show.
Which one of your teammates is most likely to die first in a horror movie?
Come on, let's do it. Thanks, Kurt. Drew Smith.
Back on FT Live, Braun Przynski, Kratz, Kipnis, and J-Fish joining us right now.
How's it going? I had nothing to do, and I was like, I love baseball, and I saw this game, and I wanted to try a YouTube channel, and I just started playing that, and then started to get some subscribers and stuff, and then apparently 9 Innings was watching my videos and stuff over that time, and I hit 1,000 subscribers in July of 21, and I told my brother, I said, you know how cool it would be if I could partner with this video game company? And then 2 weeks later, they reached out on an email, and I was like,
It means I'm playing the best I've ever played.
Ooh.
Ever, or just recently ever?
Both. Right. These are the new hips?
Thank you. New hip. We got some new new hip, new attitude, and a new golf swing. The only thing I hope we never do is get an automatic strike zone. I hope we never go down that road. Hitting will be impossible. Pitching at this level and the way that they throw at the top of the zone, that's I hope we never do. If there's a caveat to it, if you as a hitter get one chance to question a call, or I think we could get there, and same thing with a pitcher, I think that's a good compromise, but definitely no, auto umps or whatever.
You weren't beating the drum for that.
No, because to me, I understand pitching and I understand how hard it is to hit. And if you have 98 and 95 and 96 as your average velocity at the top of the zone and it gets called, guys will learn how to pitch there. I mean, they're already throwing there now and have no idea where it's going. And you throw a breaking ball at the top of the zone, you can't hit it. So
if they're talking about that, they better shrink the strike zone and maybe go a little bit east to west,
Wider.
and then everyone has a fighting chance. I mean, what Acuna has done in 1 year, he's matured. He's a runaway for the MVP right now, and he's changing the entire scope of what a leadoff hitter can, should do.
I played with Derek Lowe in Dallas, in the Dallas tournament, and he was telling his story first time he met Greg Maddux. He comes over to the Dodgers. Maddux was on the Dodgers at the time. He walks into the locker room, and he's bent over naked in his locker. And he's like, oh, hey, Derek. And he just turns around, is like, gives him a big hug. He's like, nice to meet you. And Derek's like, what do I that's Greg Maddux. Like, what do I do?
You got to understand his influences in Chicago were very vital to how he continued the rest of his career.
Yeah, that is a catcher's mitt. He can hold some baseball. Oh, baby. Jump City off pitch one. Adley leaves the yard. He's 2 for 2 to start this thing. And now how about this? Doug is switching. Just a drive to left center into the second deck.
Oh, he hit everyone out.
And Rutschman should have been hitting right-handed the whole time. That's a pretty good start. That's 3 in a row for Randy. Gold star, so he's got the extra 30. Critical. All right, so a minute 13. He's got one of those that went 440, trying to buy himself an extra 30 seconds in this 2-minute round. Tremendous performance by Vlad. He did not do it.
Oh, my.
Vlad Guerrero Jr. will hang on.
It was so hard to follow, and we were there the whole time. I think you guys got there kind of in the middle of the first round, but Mark and I were there the whole time. You can't even see a ball land.
Remember when Adley flipped sides of the plate during the Derby? So I think that's a big one. And I think Randy, right? Showman, the ultimate showman. Anytime, postseason, WBC, home run derby, he's gonna show up.
My other favorite Ryan Dempster story, and him and I have talked about this too. He was pitching for the Marlins, and I was with the Twins. And this is back in the Metrodome. There was nothing to do. There was nowhere to go. The clubhouses were connected. There was literally they were connected. There was a hallway, right? No, there was a hallway that was about from here to the table, and that was it. That was where they did the laundry. But the clubhouses were literally connected. He goes out in the first. I think he gave like 8 runs in the first inning.
No, it was sort of. It felt like that. It was 4 innings, 4+. I gave up 10 runs. I should have given up 20. Like, my outs were Mike Lowell diving in the hole and Preston Wilson crashing in the center field wall for a catch. Like, there was no. I finally hit Doug Mankiewicz. Remember that? I drilled him right in the ass. Just boom, and he looks out. And he's like, "What the heck?" And I'm like, "You guys are taking softball swings up there. What else am I supposed to do?" And he just looked at me and goes, "Yeah, good point." And he just went down to first, and then they took me out of the game.
The boys are wearing shorts.
It was it was BP.
Hats were on backwards. They weren't even wearing helmets. They were just like, "We're fine."
But he afterwards, I don't know what happened. I went up to the clubhouse to grab some, and the clubhouse guy on the visiting side, because they're connected, goes, "You guys, do you know what Dempster's doing right now?" And we're like, "No." He's like, he took a case of beer, went down to the batting cage, and was hitting balls off a tee, chugging beers after every swing. And we're like, wait, what?
Hours, dude. Missed the team bus, everything. It was a tough grind. You got to find ways to cope, And like that was, it was like I got to get through. I needed aggression. I didn't want to break a sink. I already did that once in Pittsburgh. That didn't turn out well. I snapped in the dugout in Pittsburgh. You go down the stairs to that bathroom, right? Yep. So I got a bat, and I'm just like going to town on the sink in there. It's just like whang, and I'm just hammering away on this thing, and it's just like poof, and the swing just goes poof, and it's hanging, right? And I'm just like
finish it.
Boom. And the best part was water right in my face.
6'7". Oh, it's the same height, I think, as Ellie De La Cruz, who I've talked about a lot on this show. He's not here.
No.
But you don't even know what I'm asking.
I know what you're going to ask.
No, I'm not. I'm not asking what you think I'm asking.
He was going to ask if you should be an all-star. I said no.
This is a bigger picture question. How do we get more skill sets of Ellie De La Cruz into Major League Baseball?
I think it goes to what story baseball wants to be able to tell. In other words, we've had conversations, too, with the league about 2 sports stars and guys that do have options to play other sports. How do you get them to focus in on baseball?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're entering the system a certain way, when the value prop associated when you enter a system is a certain way, without diving too deep into what I believe is a broken development system. That's a whole nother conversation. It depends on what type of story baseball wants to tell to attract those types of players. We get them every now and then, not as often as we would otherwise like, and when you see them, yeah, they jump off the page in a way that's tremendous for our game, in ways to grow it and have it spread. We used to get more of those guys. But again, I talked a little bit about this, but as the landscape has changed and shifted, we haven't done, I don't think, all we could do as an industry to engage, breathe into, provide support for, and encourage the next generation of superheroes that are like that.
Live streaming on Foul Territory's YouTube channel. Braun, Kratz, Brzezinski, we're awake, we're with you. We're locked in to the All-Star game right now. Should I just do pitch by pitch? Josh Young at the plate.
Yes.
Since everyone seems to have their opinion, do you like the uniforms?
You know, I don't mind the uniforms. The helmets are a fucking joke. I can't with the helmet.
Here's an opposite field fly ball deep to the track and a leaping grab. Cole's 1-2 to Freeman is popped down the left field line towards the corner. Rosa ran into the wall. He makes the catch.
That caught?
Yeah.
Adolis Garcia is having a blast with the sun and making every catch look like a highlight reel.
Yeah. High drive from Yandy Diaz.
We got a very Braves-centric National League All-Star team, so it's a good year to
we do
jump on and talk about this Braves club, this All-Star team, and what I think are some really interesting uniforms. I heard you guys talking about this earlier.
Yeah, give me like your metaphor for what these uniforms are.
I really miss the team uniforms. There was just something about seeing everybody out there in their own uniform representing their city. I don't know. Maybe it's just I'm traditional or I'm just not with it yet, but I kind of miss the team uniforms.
All right. Watch this. Pete, you know why you would like me?
What's that?
I was born in New York.
That's my guy!
See?
Now look, you do go at the Yankees a little too much. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I might go at the Yankees more than anybody, but you do it.
You go at the Yankees way more than he goes at the Yankees.
I agree with you 100%. The Yankees have been terrible.
I mean, I scored in the run because it was fun to score, and I had so much fun. I found a ball off my toe, and it hurt a lot, but I'm always in the All-Star game.
Salvi, why do the Royals suck since they won the World Series?
Hey, I don't like when you say that about my team.
The NL's down a run. I mean, this is their shot, right?
This is their best shot, without a doubt. And the fact that Bautista's a little wild right now is good. Because, I mean, when he's on, his stuff is, absolutely disgusting. It's also, he's kind of lucky he gets to throw to Adley, I guess, too, because I'm sure that helps a lot.
Got some power. 2-2 to Diaz. Is hit in the air to deep left field. Back it goes. Elias Diaz puts the national.
How to do
Come on.
The
game. Let's go.
Hey.
Yes.
Diaz.
Scott, I've never met you in person, but you look like you smell terrific.
Thank you. It's been discussed.
Derek, you are so spot on.
It's not there. It looks like they're giving up, and when they're ahead in games, they've had a lot of blow-ups that have resulted in losses. But I look at the numbers and I say this team is too damn good to be 43-47. And then I look at the picture in the National League and I think to myself, I think they can do it.
Two out and a 2-2 pitch from Ramirez. Misses. Kimbrel slams the door.
Everybody, great job. Yeah. Round of applause again.
Even Jeremy.
Especially Jesse. Jesse, nice job. Stay off camera. Yes. And to our late night FT crew, order my book.
Yes.